All right, hello and welcome to today's webinar. We're going to talk about how to outrank any competitor with micro-SEO strategies in the Google SERPs. No joke. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Rolfe. I'm the founder and president of Boulder SEO Marketing. Also, if you do a search for international SEO expert, you should see me right up there at the top with my personal website. Originally from Switzerland, moved to Boulder, Colorado, 25 years ago. Awesome place here. Been in digital marketing for, I guess, about 25 years. International keynote speaker and SEO nerd. And I have with me my co-presenter, Daniel Burns. Daniel, do you want to say a few words?
Yes, a little bit on my background. I'm originally from Brazil, and I moved to the United States to go to college, and I opened up my first digital agency doing websites right after college. So all of my experience has been managing digital agencies, mostly doing website design and development. And now that website design and development and SEO have become really one science, we're kind of putting, both of those things under one umbrella to make sure that we're getting optimal search engine results. I've done a lot of sailing in my life, and now I've moved to Boulder 3 years ago and love it over here. Lots of great skiing.
All right. Quick word about SE ranking. Daniel, it's now the only SEO platform basically that we use at Boulder SEO Marketing. It's a all-in-one SEO platform. We can highly recommend it. Covers everything you need that you need from a tool, monitoring, marketing analysis, everything you need from a tool. So highly recommend it. Whether you're a business owner, an SEO pro, a digital agency, if you want to white label stuff. I mean, this tool has it all, right? It's really affordable. We love it here at Boulder SEO Marketing. Again, it's pretty much the only tool that we use here. Easy to use, hard to beat. That being said, quickly want to get your attention. There's a charity initiative. We all know what's going on in the world right now. So we're going to show just a quick video on how you potentially could help, alleviate the pain that many people are suffering in Ukraine right now. So we're going to show just a quick video. So even if you have $5-10, I mean, everything's greatly appreciated, helps those kids in needs. There's also the link right in the chat. So just head over there, click on it, and maybe after the webinar, you'll be able to help a little bit here. All right, let's get into our presentation. So before we're going to talk about what are micro SEO strategies, when we start with why micro SEO strategies. As I think many of you are seasoned SEO professionals, you probably know that SEO is the gift that keeps on giving, right? If you look at this study here, it's the least amount of money per business lead that we can generate with organic SEO. All these other forms of lead generation are way more expensive. And with micro SEO strategies, we can even bring that cost down. And we'll talk about that in great detail here at this presentation. All right. Then also, why micro SEO strategies? I want to direct your attention to Google Search Console. Go to your Google Search Console, click on the coverage tab there, the section, and then check out crawled, currently not indexed. So what we're seeing here with many of our customers with our own content is that Google is basically on a mission to, taking out the crappy content from its index. So they're on a mission to basically de-indexing, I think, billions of pages from their index So it's all about high quality content, right? The times of, hey, we need to crank out daily blog posts, it's no longer relevant. So it's all about high quality content. This is what micro SEO strategies are all about. All right. Daniel, I'll let you talk about the 2080 rule as well. But basically, we figured out with these micro SEO strategies, basically with about 20% of the effort or the content that we're developing, we're now able to achieve 80% of the results, leads, etc. Daniel, do you want to say a quick word about that?
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. And we'll go into this in a lot more detail. But essentially, it's kind of walking away from the old approach of SEO, which is, let's take care of the entire website and let's just put out as much content as possible. And let's just try to make as much noise as possible, right? That used to be the 80%. Right now, really what MicroStrategy is focusing on is really what Google is looking for, which is you're laser focused on creating specific pieces of content that are outstanding. And when you laser focus on that, when you laser focus on that 20% of the website that you're going to make exceptional, that's going to generate 80% of the traction for you on the website.
Exactly. And then, hey, make sure you stick around until the end of the presentation. We're going to have two great bonus offers. So make sure you stick around. We got two good offers for you at the end of the presentation. All right. That being said, let's quickly go over the agenda. So sadly, we only have an hour. Luckily, we do have an hour to discuss this topic. Also, I just want to let you know that, of course, we're not going to be able to tell you everything there's to know in like one short hour, right? And also, not everything is applicable to everybody. The Google algorithm changes on a daily basis. So, but we want to make sure that we can expose you to the power of these micro SEO strategies, give you enough tools and knowledge so that you can actually give it a try to implement one of these micro SEO strategies yourself. So this is what we're going to try to cover today in a short hour here. So why don't we get into it? Daniel, the old SEO, let's optimize the entire website, right? How long is that going to take?
It takes a long time. And not only that, it takes a long time and it doesn't work as well as it used to before. So that's what we internally here call it. We call it the old SEO strategy, which is really the way that a lot of agencies and a lot of people are still doing SEO today, which is, hey, let's put as much content out. Let's optimize the entire website. Let's look at the website as this whole thing and not, looking at specific opportunities inside the website.
Yeah, so with the recent algorithm updates, which I'm going to briefly talk about here in a second, I mean, Google now clearly is able to understand, context, content, etc. So we figured out how to basically find, 2, 3, 4 pages on a website and completely build a micro SEO strategy around those, pillar pages. Hyper-focused SEO strategy, keyword cluster driven, and this is sort of like what these micro SEO strategies are all about. All right, so we have to identify, that's a very important piece of this puzzle here, a page that's currently underperforming, that's already ranking for some interesting keywords, and then we're going to build these micro SEO strategies around that one sort of like pillar page. All right, Daniel, I'll let you take this one. This is basically, we're going to use this example, a customer example, in this presentation. Just very briefly, like this page, what did this page look like?
Yeah, so this was a page that we pointed out that was a good opportunity, great micro SEO strategy candidate. And the page itself it was a really ugly looking blog post. I think it was 3 paragraphs of just text in there, but remarkably, it was ranking pretty well for a very competitive keyword. So we saw that opportunity and we said, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to get that ugly page and we're going to turn it into the ultimate guide for pour spouts. So if you look at this page, it's a really in-depth page that talks about the history of pour spouts and everything that you need to know about pour spouts. We made a really beautiful design. And then most importantly, we created a call to action on there. So yes, this is an informational page about pour spouts, but right on the top, there is a call to action with a conversion to a money page.
Awesome. And then eventually we want to send people, if you click on that shop now button, which we have two or three times throughout this guide, right? It's going to send people over to the products page where we want people to convert, right? So that we call that the money maker page. And then, of course, there's going to be other pieces of content that we need to support this micro SEO strategy. In this case, we did press releases, guest posts, etc. So, by the way, I highly recommend you guys do digital PR. We actually love PR Log. It's one of the least expensive yet most effective PR distribution platforms. Highly recommendable. All right, Daniel, existing versus brand new website. What's a better micro SEO strategy candidate?
Well, I will start by saying that micro strategies, there's good news and bad news, right? The good news is that when you're a good fit for it, it's a really strong and powerful strategy to use. But the bad news is that it's not a good fit for everybody, right? Existing versus brand new websites. If you're a brand new website, it probably means that your domain authority is very low, that you don't have any pages or any keywords ranking at any places. So really the ability or the work necessary to get to the top results is going to be a much longer process, which is natural and to be expected from a new website. So when you have an existing website with some already ranking keywords, that makes it a first step to be a good candidate for MicroStrategy. The second thing, so there's essentially 4 things that we're looking for, to make a website a really good strategy. Number 1, it's an existing website that has certain keywords already ranking in Google. Now, where do we want these keywords ranked? Well, not in position number 1, because that's where the end goal. So that's already, on the top position. We want a keyword that's ranking somewhere in the bottom of page 1, page 2, maybe page 3. What does that mean? It means that Google's already taking that keyword very seriously and considering a good candidate, but you're not up there yet. So it's going to require just a little bit of effort and push to get it to, the top of page 1. The second thing that you have to look at is how relevant is this keyword for my business? Is it a keyword that I want to rank for? Is it a keyword with high intent, with a high conversion rate? Yes. And then the last thing is this a keyword that has appropriate search volume, right? We don't want to work so hard for a keyword that's only having 10 monthly searches, because then that's not enough return on that, investment. So if a keyword is somewhere in the bottom of page 1 or page 2 or page 3, if it's really high intent and it has a lot of good volume for that keyword, that makes it a really good candidate for a micro SEO strategy.
Awesome, great explanation. All right, we could tell you anything we would want to, right? But the proof is in the pudding. So that's, and of course, rankings fluctuate a little bit, but I think I took this screenshot yesterday. So if you do a search for poor spouts, you're gonna get the, the visual ads here at the very top. This is how Google makes their billions of dollars of profit each month. And then right there, that's actually that guide that we created about a year ago. We're outranking, nearly 2.2 million other things that are indexed in Google's database. Think about that. 2.2 million other things that are indexed in Google's database. It's like, getting to the Olympics and actually winning, the 100-meter sprint or whatever. And we're outranking monsters, monster websites such as Amazon, Target, etc. So this is why with the right micro SEO strategy, I think any business, if you do this the right way, you now have an opportunity to get to the top in Google, because Google's algorithm is getting smarter and smarter. We now, even small micro companies, we now have the opportunity to play with the big boys. All right, and then I love to talk about international multilingual SEO as well. these micro SEO strategies are a great fit if you want to achieve global domination. So as you can see there, we're using SE ranking to see how this page ranks, the keywords that it ranks for. Right there, we get a bunch of #1 rankings. I also checked, hey, how does this page do in the UK? All right, as you can see there, if you're in the UK, just do a quick search for pour spouts, or best pour spouts, pouring spouts, etc. You'll see this page on #1 in the search engine results pages. So in other English-speaking countries around this world, this page is killing it. Here we go. That's a screenshot from Google Search Console. Traffic is going up and up and up. A very happy customer right there. Well, wouldn't you want that too, right? And the great thing is, this is not rocket science. I think with the right knowledge, effort, etc., we all can create content like that will achieve its purpose and rank us at the top in Google for our target SEO keywords.
Yeah. Can I make a quick note real quick? And just we're going to be having a time at the end for questions and answers. So feel free to put in your questions as we go along on the comment section. We'll get to them. But if there are any questions that are relevant, we can answer them right away. And I think there's a really good one here that I'm going to post right now. Are there only certain pages or content that are good candidates for micro SEO strategies? Do you want to jump into that?
Not really. No. We've seen great results with location pages, with, product pages, etc., etc. So I don't think we've seen anything that doesn't really work yet. I'm sure there will be, right? But, I would say no, as long as you put the right strategy in place, I would say give it a try.
Yeah, we've even seen good results with the Google Business Profiles, doing a micro strategy on a Google Business Profile as well. So
yeah. All right, let's get into it. We got a lot of content to cover. Just briefly going to talk about what I think were the most relevant algorithm updates that are enabling us now to succeed with these micro SEO strategies. RankBrain, right? That changed everything. Google incorporated AI and machine learning. Then EAT. Daniel, just real quick, the importance of EAT.
Because EAT is the way that Google will give value to a website, because they want to know if the website and the owner of the website are experts in their industry, are authoritative in their industry, on their trustworthiness. So these are 3 things that through all of the activities and content, we're really trying to position that website and that business as the true expert in the industry.
All right. Then BERT, big deal, right? Google is now better able to understand context, so we don't have to be crazy focused on, hey, let's make sure we put the keyword XYZ 20 times into this piece. Get away from that, right? That was a big deal, BERT. And then Daniel, Core Web Vitals.
Yeah, so over the past year, Google has taken a lot more importance over the actual functionality of the website. So much now that if you log into your Google Search Console, you'll see in there a little section called Core Web Vitals, which highlights these 3 items in here. And what these are is loading. Essentially, how fast is a web page going to load? Interactivity, how fast can a user interact with the website when they get to it? In visual stability, right? You've seen all those websites that as they load, things move around and so forth, and you try to click on something and it moves. Google wants to make sure that they're ranking websites that are very stable in these 3 areas. And that's the reason that now they're very clear with the website owner to say, hey, you need to look at this or that in Google Search Console and make sure that these are clean and fixed, because that's going to set a really solid technical foundation for that page to be taken seriously by Google.
Awesome. Yeah, and then if you use SE ranking, make sure when you set up a project, also connect Google Analytics and Search Console at the end when you're setting up the project. Everything is in one place. Super awesome, user-friendly tool. Then MOM, that was the game changer. Google now being able to pull data from different variant sources, different languages, different forms of content. That was the big game changer that basically, I think, enabled us to be successful with these micro SEO strategies, even, take it to a next step. Daniel, a quick word about your money, your life.
So Google categorizes websites in two main categories, right? And your money, your life is any website that deals with your financial situation, with your health, with medical. So if you are a doctor, if you're an investments, company, what Google is going to do is going to put you in this, your money, your life, and it's going to add some extra scrutiny to that website. For example, if you're not part of the your money, your life, it means that you can have a very small domain authority, but if you have one page that's really good about a certain topic, you can outrank any other of the big players, right? But if you are in the your money, your life, they're going to want to make sure, going back to that EAT, that the people and the content involved are true experts and authoritative on the industry. So they're going to require that that website be a really high domain authority before they could actually rank with other competitors in the same kind of playing field. So in summary, if your website is categorized as a your money, your life, you're going to have extra work to be done to make sure that you're getting that domain authority up to higher levels to see better results.
Awesome. All right. The main components of a micro SEO strategy. This is the SEO Strategy Framework that we've developed. I'll talk about this in a second here. Then obviously we need to identify that page that could be a good fit for a micro SEO strategy. Then SEO Design. I'm going to let Daniel talk about this. This is basically the whiteboarding session that we'll do. We'll blow this up in a little bit here so that you can see the exact details. Then you do need a tool. Again, we do recommend SE Ranking. You do need an awesome writer. We have obviously writers in-house, right? So we do these writing sprints. Everything is very fluid. So you do need a super good writer right there, ideally sitting with you on that couch where we do the whiteboarding. And then you do need a strategy template. And we're going to share this with you at the end of the presentation. It's a simplified version of what we use internally, but you're welcome to, just make a copy of this, run with it. It's super intuitive to use. All right, Daniel, let's talk about the SEO Strategy Framework. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is basically an extremely simplified version of how SEO works nowadays, right? So we have, the technical aspect of SEO, functionality of the website, on page, off page, social media, content marketing, etc. So we're basically overlaying this SEO strategy framework over the website, over a new project. And we're looking at, okay, where do we need to tweak things a little bit? This is basically the foundational SEO stuff, right? Are we going to tackle everything at once? Heck no. This would take forever, right? So we're looking for the low-hanging fruit opportunity, the basic stuff that we need to do, because it will still have an impact on the overall project, right? So this is basically the 80% that could take up a lot of time and only get us about 20% of the results. So we're looking very specifically at, low-hanging fruit opportunities that we can tweak in a short amount of time. All right, Daniel, quick word of caution here. Again, this is the EAT section of when we take on medical clients or financial. If you want to say quick words here.
Yeah. So, the way we've used this internally really is that when we start a project, we look at all of these different areas to see, where lay the opportunities. For example, if you are your life, your money, your life category website, and you have a low domain authority, there's no point in trying to initially start a micro strategy or do other things. What you need to do first is really create a stronger, higher domain authority. How do you do that? Well, if you look at, this map is you need to then work on all of the activities related to increasing the expertise, authoritative, and trustworthiness, right? So then that's how you shift this strategy a little bit. What is creating EAT on your website all about? It's really about letting Google know that there's a lot of relevant, high authority websites pointing back to you to high relevant content on your website. And building that over time will increase that domain authority. So again, if we need to focus on EAT, we would go up this branch. If your website already has a good domain authority, or if it doesn't necessarily need a high domain authority, then we would take a different branch and focus on other things that would generate bigger, quicker results.
Yeah, and then of course, if you want to, see results fast, I mean, focus on the things that you have control on. Here the green boxes. But again, if you're in that category, you absolutely have to do that. Okay, and then I mean, Daniel, I can't overemphasize the importance of running a website audit. Addressing the technical, potentially functional issues of a website. Will do that no matter what.
Always, yes, because the way we see it is that a web page has the foundation, right? And the foundation of that house, let's say, is the technical. So if there's technical issues with the website, it doesn't matter what we do in terms of MicroStrategy or EAT, it's always going to have a shaky structure. So always taking care of the structural integrity, which is the tech fixes of a web page, very important.
Cool. All right. Then how are we going to identify that page that we're going to turn into this micro SEO strategy main page? All right. Starts with keyword research. Again, we're heading over to SE ranking. We're going to identify, are there low-hanging fruit keywords? If there are, let's decide which one we're going to turn into this micro SEO strategy. And we will talk more about this in more detail toward the end of the presentation. All right, here's how you use SE ranking to identify potential low-hanging fruit keyword opportunities. Head over to competitive research, plug in the website, the target website. Then we're going to use keywords in the US. You're looking at our own website, the Boulder SEO Marketing website. Here on the left-hand side, you're going to see the organic traffic research section. Right there, check this out. We're actually building a micro SEO strategy around SEO packages. As you can see there, 1,300 people are searching for the keyword SEO packages on a monthly basis in Google. All right, during COVID, I wrote this guide, search engine optimization packages for small business, right? That was like 2 years ago. This page is still ranking well for really interesting keywords. So we're like, hey, why not turn this into one of these strategies? All right, so we did basically this is the first step that you need to do. First, identify the interesting keywords associated with a page that you could turn into one of those strategies. Then, Daniel, let's talk about SERP analysis. How do we do that when we do one of these strategies?
So we essentially pick the keyword that we've selected. We go to Google, we search, and we simply see who's ranking up there. What search results is Google presenting? In this case, you have a couple different things before the actual search results on the bottom. And then we start looking at which are the competitors and positions 1 through 10. And we're really going to learn from what they have in their page and also what Google is displaying in terms of results to better understand how we need to create our page that eventually is going to outbeat all of these other pages on there.
Exactly. So in this case, you need to know there's a position 0, right? So that's something we could achieve with our strategy. There's also people also ask, right? We can make sure we have an FAQ on that page, and mark it up with SEO. We'll talk about this later, but this is what you need to do. And then also SE ranking has a great SERP analysis section. So you can even just use the tool, but this is what you need to do. You need to actually plug in the keywords and take a look, what is showing up in Google in relation to that target SEO keyword, because that's what we need to beat. All right, then SEO design. Daniel, so now we the SERP analysis, right? We usually pick 3 target SEO keywords. What are we doing here? What's this whiteboard showing?
Yeah, so if we're sitting, and what you don't see here next to the whiteboard is a big screen, and what we do is we search that keyword, and then we go result by result and look at all of the pages. So if you look on the right side of the whiteboard, and I don't expect you to see what's there, but just so you understand what our thought process is, we actually create a list of every single feature, every single section of all of the pages that are listed on those top 10 positions that are interesting that we include in our page. Why is that? Well, it's 2 reasons. Number one, because we want to make our page the best page there is, right? So if we combine the best elements from all of these different pages into one page, that's going to make it a better page. And the second thing is really understanding what additional pieces of information do we think, even if we don't see them in other places, are going to make this a much better, more educational piece for our customers, right? So once we create that list on the right-hand side, then on the left, you'll see that there's 2 columns. And in reality, what that is it's one long page that wouldn't fit. So I had to do 2 columns. And we wireframe how are we going to place all of these different elements into the design of a new website. This is what we call SEO design, which in reality is the website design, right? But it's different because instead of doing the traditional website design, we're really making all of these decisions based on the SEO traction that we're going to get and this whole process of looking at the SEO side of things. So the 2 things that we need to do when we're creating this SEO design is, number 1, include all of these elements in there. Number 2, make sure that when we're creating this order and this flow of information, it's a flow that's very digestible by the users, right? One of the things that Google's going to look at is, are people reading this page? Are they actually consuming the page? If you make it very consumable and you tell a story through the page, you're going to get better rankings because there's higher engagement and higher usability. And the third thing is, yes, you want people to come to this. We want this to rank, the position number 1, but what's the end goal? Call to action. What is it that you want people to do? Do you want them to go to a product page? Do you want them to download an ebook? So making sure that you incorporate that call to action in there somehow. So at the end of the wireframing section, we have a really good map of what we want this website to have in terms of structure and content.
Awesome. All right, and then we call these SEO sprints, where we have a writer there as well, so we can just crank this out, right, in a relatively short amount of time. I mean, this is a lot of work. If you just tell people, hey, you do this, do this, do this, send them their way, it's going to take way longer. So we take, a day, a couple of days, where we just do these SEO sprints, and you will be so much faster, so much more successful in a short amount of time.
Absolutely. And then on that note, too, to expedite this process, once that wireframe is complete, it goes to 2 different people. It goes to the designer. So the designer can start creating that page on the website and using lorem ipsum, for example. So it's dummy tags. And the writer, using the same wireframe, will create all the content. So by the time the content is ready, let's say 2 days, the design of the page is ready as well. We populate that design with the content. And at that point, we're able to move very quickly on creating these pages. So, usually there's going to be probably about 7 to 10 days from when we start the wireframe to be able to have this final page ready to then start taking the next steps, which I'll show, in a little bit.
Cool. All right, so this is now the end product. We just relaunched that page that I showed you earlier. This is now the SEO packages, the ultimate guide, right? So this is the end result of one of those page designs that we did. Information that are also on these other pages that are currently ranking at the top. Then we talk about our own packages. Very clear. How much do we charge? What do people get? What's included in our packages? When selecting an SEO agency, what to look for. We have videos of what are micro-SEO strategies, because that's basically where we're heading. We're a micro-SEO strategy company that also happens to do foundational SEO work. So we want to make sure that the people that get to that page, they understand that, right? If somebody is not ready for an SEO package, hey, we also offer training. You know, we have a bunch of courses online available at no charge.
Yeah.
This
No, so 2 best practices real quick, which Chris just brought up. See this, if you're not interested for a package, there's this. This is what we call a secondary conversion. So every page should have your primary conversion, which is, you know, the buy now or the contact. But if they're not interested, what is a secondary conversion? And a quick note also, if you remember the pour spouts page and you remember this page, something that's very important for MicroStrategies is we got both of those pages and we turned both of those pages into a true source of information. It's a resource to make the shoppers better educated. So this page is not about us selling our packages. It is about informing people what to look for, what to understand, and what you need to know when researching SEO packages. So that's an important, you know, kind of thing that you need to implement when creating the content, is really turning the sales piece into an educational piece.
Awesome. And then, you know, proof of concept, right? Here's the case study, reviews, and then frequently asked question. So we pulled those from, you know, people also ask, right? Of course, you have to rewrite it, make sure you can't just copy what's out there. And then at the end, another, you know, call to action, people can use our free site audit tool. So this is basically, you know, a page that we just created and launched. So once you launch that page, it goes live. Make sure after about a week or so, go to SE Ranking to the on-page SEO checker, and then run this page through the on-page SEO checker against the target SEO keywords that you're built this campaign around. You will find opportunities that you can even further improve this page, even have a better chance to rank.
Yeah, and in my opinion, this feature right here is probably one of my favorite features of SE Ranking, because even though you think the website is in great technical conditions, or you did everything that you could to better optimize, when you run this tool after you launch it, you see all these additional opportunities that are, again, really low-hanging fruit opportunities. So this is an awesome tool.
Yeah, cool. And then, okay, but Daniel, we need to buy backlinks, right? We need to get all these backlinks to rank at the top.
Back in the old days, you did.
So let's, yeah, so this is why SEO has completely changed, right? The obsession with backlinks, I think, rest assured, not every website needs a ton of backlinks or on a page-by-page level. So basically, here is proof. Okay, this is the Pour Spouts Ultimate Guide. 8 backlinks. Okay, page trust 7. All these other pages that are ranking at the top for this search term, Pour Spouts, they have way more backlinks. They have a higher page trust. So it really does not matter that much anymore. Does it still matter? Yeah, I think so, right? So we want to do a little bit of link earning, link building. Basically, if you create the best piece of content out there, naturally this piece of content will create links automatically, because other websites will probably link back to. In this case, I want to show you 2 of the links that we were able to create as part of this strategy. So let's take a look at the, again, PR log. You know, I think it's $49 to publish a press release nationwide. And then you can, of course, include a backlink to that page, right? And then we got these guys also in a relevant, high quality online publication. Right down there is the link with the anchor text, Pour Spouts, right? High domain authority. So this really made a difference. I think it helped definitely rank this page at the top, but you don't need 10,000 links. You know, I would say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 high quality backlinks will do the job if you're not in the your money, your life space. All right. Woo! How are we doing on time? Perfect. All right, so let's get to our process template here before I tell you a very scary story. Daniel, at the end of June of last year, we started to freak out, or actually in September, because we noticed that we lost 70% of our organic search traffic.
Yes,
right?
lost that, and I lost some nights of sleep as well.
Yep. So we were so busy updating all these other websites, optimizing all these other websites. We completely did not optimize our own website. I'm sure there's a lot of other SEO agencies on this webinar. Make a mental note, optimize your own website, get on it. So we didn't pay attention to our own website. Got hit by the June 30th or 21st, 2021 algorithm update. Lost 70% of our organic search traffic. No more leads, nothing. It freaked us out. So we decided, hey, let's optimize the location page on our website for Denver for keywords such as Denver SEO company, Denver SEO services, etc. As part of that, we also optimized our Google business profile. As you can see there, we're now at the top. Denver is a big market. So just this page alone is getting us a ton of leads. As you can see there, that's a 6-month over 6-month comparison. We dramatically increased total clicks, average position, etc. So just this page alone saved our butts.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, and that was an awesome Micro-SEO strategy that we deployed in no amount of time. All right, so let's get into it. This is the template that we're sharing with you guys. It's a simplified version of our internal document. But basically, I quickly want to walk you through this template. Okay, has a lot of tabs here. So basically, just copy this page, go over here, file, make a copy, add it to your drive, decide what's the target page that I want to build this SEO strategy around. Then general messaging. Think about what's the general messaging? What's the message that you want to convey? Think about 3 target goals. You want to be number 1 in the local map pack, and in the text-based organic results. You want to get listed in the top ranking directories. Desired outcome, we want to get leads, right? Because these turn into real customers. Then these are the keywords. We basically pulled how this page ranked. We used SE Ranking, the competitive research tool. This is how we ranked back then. We were position 10 for Denver SEO company, has 1,000 monthly searches, Denver SEO agency, decent search volume, right? So we decided on these keywords for the page. Then we also looked at directories. If I do a search, actually, let's do Denver SEO company. I want to show you an example here. Denver SEO company. All right, so we're doing an incognito search. So this is a Google business profile listing. This is a directory. Okay, we're only number 2 organically. However, there's a chance that we can add ourselves to this directory. Are there more directories on page number 1? Heck yeah. I think this is a directory. This is a directory, right? So by adding ourselves to these directories, we now have an opportunity to get more traffic to our website through this, these keywords. All right. So Daniel, then this stuff is very intuitive, and we're going to share with you additional training resources where we talk more about these tabs here. But then this is the beefy part, right? So once we have launched this page, there's a lot of stuff that we need to do. All right, so we're gonna share our internal document here, and I'm gonna let you talk about this.
Yeah,
page.
so implementing a MicroStrategy needs to be done consistently from beginning to end. It's almost like going to the gym, right? There's no point of saying one morning, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna get strong and just go for 3 days and then start playing chess after that. So how do we organize ourselves as an agency to make sure that we're doing every single step all the way to the end of the process before we could say this MicroStrategy is complete, and then we move on to the next one? So we use this template right here, right? You'll see the black titles on the top. This is all information that's coming from the previous documents. You know, what's the page that we're working on? You know, what's the page name, the URL, the keywords, you know, the opportunity. And then the yellow topics here is everything that we need to do to create and on-page optimize that. So we start with the wireframe. And then once the wireframe is done, we do the layout and the content creation like we mentioned. Once the content creation is done and it's put on the website, we're going to do the meta optimization. Once we do that, we upload the page to the website, and we use that nifty tool in SE ranking that I mentioned to do the one-page tech audit. We do all of those fixes. We're going to add schema to the page if there's a schema opportunity. We're going to do internal linking. This is a strategy that's overlooked by a lot of different people. Super, super powerful if you do it correctly. Then we're going to go in and make sure that Google now reindexes it, and we're going to add it to our social media calendar. What does that mean? Whoever's doing social media for the brand is now going to start mentioning and linking back to that page so we can start getting some social media signals to that page. Now, we're done with the yellow. That means the on-page is now complete for that new page. And this is when the fun starts. This is when we actually start doing all of the off-page. So we're going to create a press release about it. We're going to start doing content syndication. We're going to create LinkedIn showcases on other social profiles, link building, link repositioning. Not to bore you, but there's so many different things that, again, we can start doing. And what this does is it gets more eyeballs, more traffic to this amazing piece of content. And because it is such a good piece of content, more and more sites are going to link to, more and more people are going to share it, and more people are going to engage with that content. And one of the things that really makes us organized is, you know, we have the simple drop down. Is this something that it's in the backlog that we're still going to planning on doing? And then while we're working is in progress. And once it's done, it's complete. For example, if this is a page that's not going to require a LinkedIn showcase page, we simply put non-applicable. So by the time that you create all of the different activities that you feel should be part of this, at that point, you can say this MicroStrategy is complete. Yes, do we still want to continue mentioning it in our social medias? Yes, but then we get here and we say, all right, that was MicroStrategy number 1. We can move on to MicroStrategy number 2.
Awesome. As you guys can see, I mean, it's a lot of work, right? There's no magic switch to be at the top in Google. So you do need to put in the effort. You need to have the knowledge. You need to have the resources, right? Both Daniel and I have been doing this for, 20 plus years. But again, this template, you're getting access to this template. It's a simplified version of what Daniel just showed. This will actually do the trick, right, to get you started. And, if you don't have the money to hire somebody like us, give it a try. Why not? Now you know how to do this stuff. I hope so. So with that being said, let me get back into presenter mode here. Here we go with our bonuses. We have 3 awesome pieces of on-demand trainings on our website. Simply go to bolderseo-marketing.com/SEO-training, or just go to the Bolder SEO Marketing website. You'll see SEO training in the top navigation. You know what? You're going to end up on our email list, but we share a lot of great educational content. No hard selling here. We're busy as is. So we have a half-day course, 75-minute intro to SEO, and also international SEO training. And then try SE ranking. We have an extended free trial here for you. Just whip out your phone, scan that QR code, and sign up for this tool. I don't believe you have to plug in a credit card or anything. Just take this tool for a spin. It truly, I think, changed at how we do SEO here at Bold SEO Marketing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Such a powerful tool.
Yeah. And at this point, I would love to thank SE Ranking for giving us the opportunity to talk about micro SEO strategies here. So whip out your phone, scan that QR code, take advantage of SE Ranking. All right. Woo! I think we have about 10 minutes for questions. I think we did really well with that timing here.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't we, let's take questions. Anything that you would like to ask us, please do so now.
Perfect.
All right.
There have been a couple questions posted already, so I'm going to share a couple of these. First of all, is there any way to check if your website is in your money, your life? I can actually take this one. There isn't a specific, thing that will tell you if you are or you're not, but a really easy way to find out is, and that's usually the way that we do it. If you do a search for the keyword that you're trying to rank for, and you go and you see all of the search results that are on the first page, look at the domain authority of all of those websites. If all of the domain authorities are high and consistently for all of the top 1 positions, that is a good telltale that you are in the your money, your life, right? Anytime, and that's the big change that Google has done, because websites now can rank for specific pages that are really good quality. If you're not in the your money, your life, you're going to see up there on the search results a combination of different ranges of domain authority, and that's how you know you're not. But if you see anywhere that you have a consistency of 80 plus domain authority on all of the search results on the top of the result page, you're most likely in that category. Let me ask another question here, posted. Is there somewhere I can grab these materials, such as the SEO Strategy Framework image?
Yeah, I mean, I'll leave it up to SE Ranking, but we'll be happy to share a PDF of the presentation that includes the image of the SEO Strategy Framework. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to hide anything.
Yeah,
right?
no, this is. There's another good question here from Scott. Do you consider blogs a must-have SEO strategy for every website?
Yes,
go ahead.
Absolutely. So about 6, 7, 8 months ago, I listened to all the Google Webmaster Hangouts with John Mueller, who's the SEO liaison that talks to us people. So basically, he admitted, look, we're gonna rank blog posts higher than product pages for now. So yes, in my opinion, you absolutely do need a blog. I mean, this is how we build most of our SEO micro strategies are blogs.
Yeah, and one interesting note is, if you're using WordPress, for example, you have the blog section on there, which inside the administration is called posts. You don't have to call that category blogs. You can call it news. You can call it updates. You can call it company insights. You can call it whatever you want. But the importance of having a blog is really the importance of having that ability to post new and fresh content in a blog format on the website, but you don't necessarily have to call it a blog. Here's a question from Mikhail. I'm quite new to SEO and SE ranking. What would you recommend? Should I go through the to-do list?
Oh, I see. So that's I think the marketing plan to-do list.
I think so too.
Absolutely. If you're new to SEO, Mikhail, I mean, take advantage of the trainings that we offer. SE Ranking, they have a SEO university. So if you sign up for SE Ranking, you get access to an awesome, I think it's a 6-hour training. Go through these trainings, right? You need to understand how SEO works and then take advantage of all these tools that SE Ranking is offering. So yeah, I hope this answers your question.
Yeah. And then here is another question from Erwin. So, and I think this was based on when we're selecting a page for a MicroStrategy. So what are the criteria for selecting such a page? And I think the follow-up that you sent was because now it looks like you pick whatever. Let me address that. It's really not whatever. Remember, there's three main criteria, right? Number one, it's a keyword that you feel that in 2 or 3 months of pushing it, you're going to get to position number one. Very important. Number two, it's a keyword that's very important for your business, right? So it's a keyword that you know that if you're ranking on position number one and people get to that page, you have a very high chance of converting, right? But number three, search volume, right? So there's enough people looking for it. So it's not, I wouldn't call it a whatever. I think because if you fall into those three categories, the time that you're actually getting that page on number one, you're going to see a lot more leads or sales or conversions on your website. So following those three criteria is really the framework that we use to selecting pages that make the most sense to be our focus for the MicroStrategy.
And then, you know, why not ask your clients, right? Show them the list of keywords that you're thinking about optimizing for. Ask them, hey, would you use this keyword? You know, if you found us at the top in Google for this keyword, you know, would you potentially get in touch with me? No need to pay an expensive consultant to do some field testing here. That's how we do it.
Yeah, and Michael had a good question about search volume. I think there was a good response on the comments there that, you know, SEO Ranking has a really good tool in there. Here's another question that wasn't answered yet. My new website I just discovered has backlinks from a completely unrelated industry. Would this affect the EAT?
Oh boy, definitely not recommended to have, you know, non-relevant backlinks to your website. Does Google really frown about that greatly? I don't think so anymore. A lot of websites did link, you know, building back in the day where the more links, the better. Google now knows about these backlinks, you know, but, you know, definitely to the page, your Micro-SEO strategy page that you want to rank at the top, you know, we see that it definitely helps if you have relevant backlinks from high quality websites. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. So a couple more questions. I think someone just asked, I think this is a rerun. It's not a live stream. It sure is. This is a live stream. So answering your questions. And following up with this one, how is this different from any other SEO strategy? You did join late, so it's okay, because I really want to bring in, and it's very simple. I think the old way to do SEO, right, a case study, is you're creating different blog posts about different subjects and doing a lot of different link building to a lot of different pages on the website. Where a MicroStrategy, you look for a really good opportunity for what we call low-hanging fruit, which is a page that has a lot of potential, and you laser focus all of your activities during 2 to 3 months, and you move that page to position number one. That's really the big difference between MicroStrategies and doing what we call the shotgun approach of doing a little bit of traction in a lot of different places. I think I have one.
We have 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. So maybe one more question. 2 more
we'll do one more question. And there is. Oh, sorry. What's the? Oh, here we go. This is the last one. So I lost 50% traffic with a Google update. No matter what I do, it's stuck on traffic. I optimized the post that lost rankings, but still not working. Any thoughts on site getting permanently blocked by Google?
I mean, go into Search Console, you know, see if there's maybe a penalty was unleashed on your website. Maybe they put you in the penalty box. It can take a year, you know, ask them to reconsider, you know, removing that penalty. But this is something that Sean Mueller of Google talks about it all the time. Take a look at your website in a holistic way, right? There's probably many opportunities, you know, overlay that SEO strategy framework over your website and see where are those poking points that you need to flatten. So usually that's what we need to do if, you know, if we don't see traffic go up. There's probably a more fundamental issues with the overall website. It's probably the best answer that I have.
I think that's it. That's all the time we have today.
Woo! Yeah, thank you so much for your interest in this presentation. Get in touch with us, connect with us on LinkedIn. I'll be traveling in Europe for the next few weeks, so expect a slow response. I think SE Ranking will be sharing the slides, the recordings, and yeah, I hope that was interesting. Take advantage of the SE Ranking trial. check out our trainings, and then shoot us an email or message if you'd like to keep in touch or have any other questions. Thank you so much. This was a blast. Daniel, thanks so much. Thank you so much, SE Ranking, for having us.
Thank you.
Be well, be safe, and stay healthy. All right. Bye, everybody.